What's up everybody? My name is Malori Redman and I will be your instructor for this semester. I don't want to say what class because I'm teaching a bunch of different classes and I want to make just one video for my little about me sort of video instead of making 5, 6, 7 different videos. So I just want to take a few moments to introduce myself, say hi, give you some background on who I am, where I come from, and just to kind of give you a little insight about me. And then I will get the opportunity to learn more about you all as the semester progresses. So, of course, I have a little slide deck or a PowerPoint, whatever you want to call it, prepared for this. And I do also want to let you know if you have any questions about me or about anything, about my background or whatever, you are more than welcome to reach out and ask questions as you see fit. Also, welcome to my office in San Francisco or at San Francisco State. If I have videos for you, if this is an online synchronous or asynchronous class, you'll likely see either the background you see behind you or perhaps my office at home. So if you're at State, come say hi. And if you're not at State, you can still come say hi via office hours. So just wanted to give you a little bit of background about myself. This is a very old photo of me, but I really like it. But that's who I am. And no, unfortunately, my lip is still, or is not pierced anymore. I lost the earring or the ring and I just haven't put it back in and it's been a while. Anyway, so hi, I'm Malori. I am born and raised in a very small town in the state of Iowa. So here's a map of our country, and I am from the Midwest. So this red state here, that is the state of Iowa. And when I say a really small town, I literally mean like less than 1,200 people, super, super teeny tiny. And then I moved here to the Bay Area, specifically Danville, when I was 15 years old. So I came from a town of less than 1,200 going into a high school of more than 2,000 students. The culture shock was so real and so intense, and perhaps some of you all can relate to that feeling in some kind of form or another. My background is in atmospheric science, or my academic background, I guess I should say, is in atmospheric science. And growing up where there's actually fun weather phenomenon, I've always been fascinated by it. I would be the person where if there's a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning or something, I would be the person that's outside staring at the sky and wanting to chase it, wanting to see what's going on and dancing in the rain and things like that. So I've always held a fascination there. But when I went to college, I initially was a psychology major. But it turns out that that's not the most, I don't want to say most lucrative, because of course it can be lucrative. However, when I was going to school, there were a lot of budget cuts, so it just wasn't feasible for me to go through a degree in psychology. It just wasn't in my cards, and that's okay. So what happened is I took an intro to meteorology class, and this gentleman right here, Dave Dempsey, was my instructor, and he saw that I had a keen interest in the subject, and so he invited me to join their program, stating things like our program is really small, so if you want to come see, if you want to like go and feel seen by staff and by advisors, come hang out with us. We're nice and small and niche, and so it can be advantageous for you to come and hang out with our crew. So that's precisely what I did, and I ended up graduating after 5 years with my Bachelor of Science from here at SF State. If you are currently a student of mine through SMCCD, maybe this will be where you end up. Oftentimes we have transfer students, so it's kind of a neat little thing. So I wanted to share my graduation photos just because, like, if I can do it, you can do it sort of thing, right? So I just want to foster some encouragement and some, I can't think of words right now, but that's right. But foster some ways that you can also get to the goal that I achieved. Maybe, of course, in your own discipline. But whoever said science isn't fun has lied to you. Science can be super fun. In my program, I was able to do some field work. So this is where I very much encourage you in your own discipline. If you have someone who is able to do research, I encourage you to dive into that person, go and do research with them. It looks really, really good on your resume or CV, which stands for curriculum vitae. It's really awesome. And so I was given this opportunity to go out to the Burning Man Festival in 2013. We did a lot of different experiments with this particular project. You see this tower here we're in process of making it go completely up and down. There's all kinds of instruments that went up the entirety of the tower. And then my dear friend and I hooked up a bike with various instruments, and I was able to take temperature measurements as I rode the bike through the city. And this whole project was funded by the National Science Foundation, and our work has been published. So it was not just to go out to the desert and party. We did actually get some really cool information out of this. And we did also do a follow-up experiment in 2023, which was super awesome. And maybe you heard about that year about Burning Man in the news because we did get rained in. It's all right, we made it home. Obviously, I'm here. But anyway, so I just wanted to share that because I would love to foster some sort of inspiration for you to do your own actual academic research within your academic career. And I highly, highly encourage it. So go hang out with people, go do some work. Once I graduated, I'm sure, like many of you folks, I worked a lot throughout my undergraduate career. I was working like 2 to 3 jobs, had 2 to 3 internships at one point, and just like I was wearing myself thin. This is before burnout was actually a term that was used, but let me tell you, I was burned out. So once I graduated, I needed to deuce out of here. So I spent about 2 years to travel the world and to work to make money. I very much encourage you to travel once you can, wherever you can. Get the hell out of here. If you don't have your passport, make a note to yourself to apply for one now. It is like traveling will teach you more about the world and the people in it than anything else in life. You can read about things through the news all you want, but you will not learn about the actualities of our planet until you go and see it. Kind of like how people talk about a lot of crap about San Francisco and how terrible it is, but then if you just go into the city, in fact, it's actually quite lovely and quite amazing. So it's a similar sort of thing, I guess. So I spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia. I very much recommend that. It's an amazing place to go, but wherever you can go around the world would be amazing. So I just want to share some pictures of my experiences, maybe again to foster a little bit of inspiration to get out of here, get out of the US. The US is gorgeous, but so is the rest of the world. This was New Zealand. There's certainly a reason why they filmed Lord of the Rings in person there. Having been there now, I can definitely see what's up. This was a glacial runoff river, extraordinarily clean and clear. You could see probably upwards of 40 to 50 feet down, but it was very fast moving, so it was really dangerous to get into. But my friend and I camped out by this river several nights. It was fantastic. I did bungee jump in the second largest bungee in the Southern Hemisphere, which was horrifying. I did it twice. It was crazy though. This is the Milford Sound in New Zealand. They did a lot of filming of Lord of the Rings here. And this was my first sunrise in tropical Thailand on the island of Koh Tao. And tropical rain, there's nothing like it. If anyone here has ever been to the south, perhaps like Louisiana or Florida, you know what warm rain is. Here in California, we don't know what that means. So it's really fantastic to be able to see or to feel and experience warm rain. It's really a game changer. So just some more Southeast Asia explorations, lots of temples and pagodas and stupas. This is in Bagan, Myanmar. You probably can't go there right now because of political turmoil, sadly. So I was happy to be able to have been there when I did. The very first tornado I've ever seen in my life was in Myanmar. It was wild. It was good. It is not what I was expecting to see in Southeast Asia, but there we were. The pollution was pretty nasty. I know we're no stranger to air pollution here, in that we get a lot of like smoke pollution, right? In Southeast Asia, it's actually very similar, but the smoke is coming generally from Indonesia. They call it slash and burn season. Could also have been from burning rainforest for palm oil fields, which is really sad. And then just to briefly mention how cheap it was to be there, this is a rooftop like Airbnb, for lack of a better word, that my partner and I had on the island of Bali in Indonesia. And this location, this like hotel or Airbnb, whatever you want to call it, was $8 USD a night. So that's like this view, this amazingness. Rooftop terrace, like we had a whole apartment behind us, was $8 a night. Incredible. And this was the city of course, now I can't think of it, Angkor Wat, there we go, in Cambodia, which again, I very highly recommend. Last little things about me. So once I finally came back from my adventures overseas, I actually found my acceptance letter to grad school in my junk email folder. Check your junk email folder, my friends. It's where things go to die. But my acceptance letter for the University of Arizona was in there. So I went there for grad school, and in 2018, I graduated with my master's in atmospheric sciences. My thesis was on a lot of big words. Just know that my thesis was on thunderstorms in the Indian Ocean that impact weather here in the United States. My focus was on tropical meteorology, so basically anything that happens along the equatorial region, mostly hurricanes, but really anything that happened there. I'm also really interested in atmospheric river stuff, so that might be a term that comes up a lot depending on what semester you are taking my class. Though, that generally doesn't matter fall or spring. Sometimes we'll get a nice little atmospheric river event. And at one point, I actually wanted to be a research scientist on something called the Hurricane Hunter, which are the aircraft that fly into hurricanes to take in the storm data. Yes, I'm crazy, that's fine. But of course, dreams change. I always kind of go wherever the wind takes me. And right now, looking into PhD programs is where the tides and winds are gravitating me towards. So that's just kind of my academic career and kind of where I came from in terms of, getting my degrees and whatnot. Then lastly, some little more stuff about me. It really depends on what semester you're taking my class and what I will end up teaching across my various institutions. But generally, I've been teaching Earth 162, which is weather, Earth 172, which is ocean, and Earth 400, which is climate systems, through San Francisco State. And then at San Mateo Community College, I've been teaching the oceanography lectures and labs, and more recently, environmental science. So that's what I'm teaching now. That's what I'm doing now. That's basically my full-time gig. They don't call it full-time because I'm technically part-time at both institutions, but put two and two together, it equals full-time. But some other things that I really like doing and enjoy doing are cooking and baking. I don't bake as much because my boyfriend doesn't like sweets, which is silly. But I love cooking. It's really a form of creativity for me and self-expression. So I love that. And it's like science. You add little things here and there. Like add a little bit of salt to everything. It'll make everything pop. It's really quite lovely. Speaking of my partner, we live together in San Francisco, currently downtown, but of course, depending on the semester, that could change. And we have 3 kitties, which, depending on what videos you're watching, you will probably very likely see them pop up in a video somewhere, and you'll be introduced to them in that way. Some other things I really enjoy doing are my yoga practice, which I've been building back up, and going to the gym. I'm a little gym rat when I can get there. But I also really love exploring San Francisco and exploring the Bay Area as a whole. I can eat and drink my way through the city to make myself happy. I love to try anything and everything when it comes to food or drink. So if you have any recommendations of places that you enjoy, please share. And then I'm also happy to also share any recommendations that I may have. I can go from just a food truck street taco to a 3 Michelin star restaurant. Like you give me anything in between as long as it's delicious. And pescatarian, then I'm all for it. I don't eat anything with hooves or claws or beaks unless it's unfertilized. I still eat eggs. But that's just a little spiel about me. If you have any further questions about me or any of my journeys along the way, please do not hesitate to ask. And I look forward to learning more about you all as the semester goes on. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.